So in the post-fight interview following his win over Murat Gassiev in the World Boxing Super Series Cruiserweight final, Oleksandr Usyk said that he would be willing to face Tony Bellew at heavyweight if Bellew's not willing to drop down to face him at cruiserweight. So I'd heard some people say that Usyk's already looking at heavyweight regardless, which he probably is, because what else is there left for him to do at cruiserweight? He's unified, right? He's done everything there is to do. But I also mentioned I'd like to see him run it back with Bradis, because that was a tremendous fight. And that was, to my eyes, by far the most competitive fight that Usyk's ever been in as a professional. So I'd like to see him run that back if he stays at cruiserweight. He doesn't have to run it back. I just would like to see it again because it was competitive. But other than Bradis, there is the Bellew fight. And Bellew's been looking for a big fight. But will he want to fight for all the belts at cruiserweight? Will he get his body back down to that weight? Or will he feel he's more healthy at heavyweight now and not want to make that concession? We'll see. But Usyk certainly is keen on it. He wants it. He knows it's pay-per-view. It's box office. So, yeah. And Bellew really, the Renaissance man. He's had an Indian summer in his career with those 2 wins over David Haye. And they've really lifted his profile. They were not even the toughest fights that Tony Bellew's had in his career. He's had much tougher fights than the David Haye fights. Much more challenging fights in terms of what happened in the ring. But because of David Haye's profile and because he was such a highly regarded cruiserweight champion, it's raised Tony Bellew's stock, rightly or wrongly. So, that's definitely a fight that both guys are entertaining. And I have to say, I don't know what's wrong with some people. I saw some guy in the comment section to my Usyk Gassiev post-fight video, I guess a David Haye fanboy or something, and he accused me of being a David Haye hater in my post-fight video. I don't know how, because all I did is state facts. Usyk has done what Haye hasn't done at cruiserweight. That's a fact. It's not hating. Stating facts is not hating. Yeah? Usyk unified and became undisputed. David Haye was never undisputed. Usyk won the world title in far less fights than David Haye did. Facts. Usyk has never lost a fight at cruiserweight. Facts. David Haye did against Carl Thompson. Usyk has never had as tougher fights as David Haye had at cruiserweight. Look how tough the Fragamini fight was for David Haye. Look how tough the Jean-Marc Mormec fight was. He won it emphatically in the end, but it was a tough fight. He had to come back from a knockdown. Usyk has been in some tough scraps, particularly the Bradis fight, but never anything as tough as David Haye had to go through when he was a cruiserweight, and he obviously didn't lose, as I already said. So Usyk has had a better career than David Haye at cruiserweight. That's all I said, and that's a fact that can't be argued. If you're arguing that, then there's something mentally wrong with you. Yeah? He had a better career, and that's the end of it. If you're talking about styles make fights, and again, I mentioned this in that video, I'm not saying that Usyk definitely beats David Haye. To this idiotic Haye fanboy, I'm speaking to you directly. I never said that David Haye beats Usyk, you idiot. Alright? All I'm saying is, Usyk has had a better career. So if you want to judge Usyk as a cruiserweight champion, you would have to judge him on his record, on his resume, and say he's better than David Haye. From a historical point of view, from an achievement point of view. Yeah? But in terms of styles make fights, that's a separate issue. Okay? Usyk's had a better career, but maybe David Haye would have the style to beat him. Maybe Usyk would have the style to beat Haye. I don't know. That's a subject for another video. But I did have to address that. Occasionally I see bizarre comments pop up like that. Which I sometimes respond to. Not usually, but sometimes. Anyway, let me know what you feel about this in the comment section below. Usyk thinking about fighting Bellew. You see, it would actually be a pretty good transition for Usyk to fight Bellew. It's a perfect transition fight for him because Bellew has fought at heavyweight a couple of times. So what better way, what better introduction to the heavyweight division for Usyk to fight Bellew at heavyweight? You know? It's a nice smooth transition into the division by fighting a guy who is a former cruiserweight himself. So, but again, what would the incentive be for Bellew to fight Usyk if it's not for all the cruiserweight belts? That's the thing. I'm sure Bellew would love to become undisputed cruiserweight champion. There is no way in hell that I'll be picking Tony Bellew to beat Usyk, but Tony Bellew has proved me wrong several times, and I'm sure he's proved a lot of you guys wrong too several times. But I'll be betting against him 100% against Usyk. And I would have betted against Bellew beating Breedis too. I would have bet against Bellew losing to several other cruiserweights out there. And Usyk is one of them. So let me know how you feel, people. It's happening. I'm out.